Previously, we learned magnetic field due to a current through a circular loop. Now, in this session, we will learn magnetic field due to a current in a solenoid. Before we learn this, we must know what is a solenoid. So let us understand first about solenoid. What is a solenoid? A coil of many circular turns of insulated copper wire wrapped closely in the shape of a cylinder is called a solenoid. Here in the figure you can clearly see first shows a copper wire which is in the form of circular turns. Okay, so for better understanding, here we have two figures in which first figure can explain us the circular turns of copper wire. Now, if these type of circular turns of insulated copper wire are wrapped closely as shown in the second figure, if this type of circular turns of insulated copper wire are wrapped closely in the shape of cylinder, and this arrangement is called a solenoid. So this you need to remember very well. What is a solenoid? A coil of many circular turns of what? Insulated copper wire which is wrapped closely in the shape of a cylinder is called a solenoid. And now we will learn magnetic field in a solenoid. The pattern of the magnetic field lines around a current carrying solenoid is shown in this figure. Have you seen this kind of pattern of magnetic field before? Of course, yes. Recall, where have you seen? We have learned the pattern of magnetic field around a bar magnet, and it shows like this pattern. So, the pattern of magnetic field in a bar magnet is similar to the pattern of magnetic field in a solenoid. In fact, one end of the solenoid behaves as a magnetic north pole while the other behaves as the south pole. And for bar magnet also we have learned one end is north pole and other will be south pole, and we know how is the pattern of magnetic field lines for a bar magnet. Here also one end of the solenoid behaves like a north pole and the other behaves like a south pole. The field lines inside the solenoid are in the form of parallel straight lines. Look at the figure carefully. Inside the solenoid, we can see the clear circular turns of copper wire, right? So inside it, as this is in the form of cylinder, please keep this in mind. Solenoid is in the form of cylinder, so there will be hollow space inside it, right? So there the magnetic field lines will be in the form of parallel straight lines, the straight lines which are parallel to each other. What does that mean? This indicates that the magnetic field is same at all points inside the solenoid. Please students remember this. How is the magnetic field line of a solenoid? It is similar to that of the magnetic field lines of a bar magnet. But here we need to remember that inside the solenoid, the field lines are in the form of parallel straight lines. And this means that the magnetic field is same at every point inside the solenoid. Inside the solenoid. Please remember this. And that is why we can say that the magnetic field is uniform inside the solenoid. Uniform means what? Same, right? So inside the solenoid, magnetic field is same, which means we can say that it is uniform inside the solenoid. So in the figure we can see one end of the solenoid is attached to a battery and another is attached to a key. When the electricity is passed through this solenoid, it will produce a magnetic field and the pattern will be like this. And it is similar to what? Similar to a bar magnet. And we know around the bar magnet, the direction of magnetic field is how? From north pole to south pole. So here also you can see in the figure clearly that the direction of magnetic field around the solenoid is from north pole to south pole. What will be direction inside the bar magnet? From south to north. So here also the direction of field line inside the solenoid will be from south pole to north pole. So this is all about magnetic field due to a current in a solenoid, and we have also discussed the direction of magnetic field in a solenoid. If a strong magnetic field produced inside a solenoid, strong magnetic field. When can strong magnetic field be produced? If the circular turns are very close to each other, right? So if strong magnetic field produced inside a solenoid, that can be used for different purposes. It can be used to magnetize a piece of magnetic material like soft iron. As you can see in the figure, place of soft iron is kept inside the coil. We can see clearly in the figure. It is placed inside the solenoid. And the magnet this way formed is called an electromagnet. So here is the new term for you, an electromagnet. What is an electromagnet? Here students, you need to remember that a piece of magnetic material, that is iron, right, which is attracted towards the metal. So when a strong magnetic field produced inside a solenoid can be used to magnetize a piece of magnetic material like iron when it is placed inside the coil, and this way magnet is formed, and that is called an electromagnet. What it is? When a piece of soft iron is placed inside the coil of solenoid, then it is called an electromagnet. In simple way, we can remember it as that when a magnetic material like soft iron is placed inside the coil of solenoid, and when we pass electric current through it, then the magnet which is formed is known as an electromagnet. So till now we have learnt about magnetic field due to a straight conductor. We have learnt magnetic field through a circular loop, and we have learned magnetic field due to a current in a solenoid.